Patch 2.02 for Cyberpunk 2077 just dropped. So what we're going to be doing in this video is summarizing the Patch 2.02 patch notes and telling you all the big changes to Cyberpunk 2077 that you need to know without making you exercise your literacy or listen for just a little too long. So let's jump right into it in the interest of saving time. First off, there's some Phantom Liberty specific changes. They rebalanced the time limit for vehicle contracts. Overall, there's been a lot of fixes to how skipping forward to the Phantom Liberty quest line works. So a lot of those quests that you just automatically complete when you skip forward are now going to be visible in the journal. There's also some fixes where a lot of the guns that you could possibly loot during some of these quests will be buyable or findable on the map. We're going to go into that more later. They fixed an issue where the Quadra Sport R7 Vigilante wasn't available for purchase, so if you're missing that car, you can now get it. They fixed an issue where roadblocks were present in front of Dogtown, so if you ever bought the game and you couldn't get into Dogtown, now you can. Sasquatch's hammer will now appear in the vendor's stock if you did not pick it up during the boss fight with Sasquatch. There's some stuff with Dex's body where it's now going to properly appear in the landfill when you skip ahead. Also, Jackie's gun you can now pick up from the altar in El Coyote Kojo, I think it's El Coyote Kojo. So again, that would be if you skip forward in Phantom Liberty. And then they've got some fixes to a bunch of quests that were basically uncompletable for some of you. I'm just going to list those quests off rather than go into what each specific fix is. So they fixed the Addicted to Chaos quest line, the Black Steel in Honor of Chaos, the Firestarter quest line, Gig Roads to Redemption, the Hi-Ho Silver Lining, the I've Seen That Face Before, the Moving Heat, Run This Town. There's a bunch of fixes for the Run This Town mission, so if anything in Run This Town was broken, it's best to go back and try that again. The Somewhat Damaged mission, there's been a few fixes for that. The Spider and Fly, they've got some fixes for that. Same with the Damned, the Killing Moon, Things Done Changed, Tomorrow Never Knows, and New Person, Same Old Mistakes. So yeah, a bunch of those quests have been updated, so if there are quests or missions that you were playing and you got stuck on, those are the ones that have been fixed, but honestly, I'd go back and try some of the other ones, because sometimes there's these weird things where there's just a bug that has some sort of like ripple effect and messes other stuff up. A lot of this was probably just due to the way that Phantom Liberty and sort of skipping through to the save, like the Phantom Liberty part of the game works. In addition to that, there's just been some optimizations and some collision fixes. So now let's go through quests and open world fixes. So for those of you who don't own Phantom Liberty, this would probably be the point where you want to jump in on the video. Someone post a timestamp down below in the comments. I do it, but I'm going to forget by the time I post this video. And let's face it, I'm a complete idiot. So let's get into it. They fixed an issue where the Quadra Type 66 Wingate wasn't visible in the call vehicle menu. Johnny no longer appears when collecting the reward for the trauma drama prior to completing Act 1. So there's some issues where Johnny Silverhand would appear when you hadn't really met him or got him yet. The Trauma Team website will now be accessible on V's computer when the Killing in the Name quest is active. Beat on the Brat REO fixed an issue where beating Buck while having micro generator cyberware equipped could block the completion of the quest. There's a Gig We Have Your Wife, so they fixed an issue where this quest might not start. Life During Wartime, they fixed an issue where Pan Am might not get on the motorcycle, so yeah, those of you who like Pan Am, this is a good thing, so it's a good thing for all of us. Path of Glory, V will no longer flatline after entering the Dalmane AV. The Beast in Me, they fixed an issue where it wasn't possible to shoot from the vehicle during the race. So now we're going to be diving into gameplay. So there are some rebalances here and some changes that are going to be very important for people. One change that a lot of people are looking for is that cyberware shard capacity fix, and that just hasn't happened. So basically, there's a cyber capacity, what some people think is a bug, what I think might not be a bug. There hasn't been a fix for that, and in fact, they've actually gone back and made it worse, I think. But we'll get into that. So for gameplay, here's some of the fixes. They rebalanced the stats of some weapons based on player feedback. The Malorian Arms 3516 received a buff, recoil is easier to handle even at low stamina, and the damage was increased. Crafting specs for iconic weapons will now disappear after crafting the item. Added stats to the tooltip of monowire that were missing, fixed an issue where it was possible to duplicate junk items, so that infinite money hack no longer works basically. Or it shouldn't work. Bullets now deal damage correctly when shooting through glass. fixed an issue where it was possible to easily obtain tier 5 skill shards early in the game. Their prices have also been adjusted. So my guess is this is going to make it just a little bit harder to get cyberware capacity shards, which I do not think is what players want. There's probably, if anyone made it this far in the video, there's probably going to be a good number of you disappointed by this change. Disabled the bait quick hack on enemies standing at the edge of an area they're not supposed to leave. Fixed an issue where the data recycler perk recovered base RAM cost. So basically there's an issue where you could get more RAM than you're supposed to. They fixed some specific instances where crowd NPCs could clip through vehicles while walking, fixed an issue that could cause elevators in various quests to spawn on an incorrect floor if a save or load was performed after they started moving, fixed an issue where the appearance of V's hands in first-person perspective might not change correctly after installing or uninstalling ARM cyberware. So it's actually cool that they fixed that. Giving money to homeless people will no longer lower your NCPD wanted level. That's a little disappointing because honestly, I like that. I like the fact that the NCPD is sort of trying to help the homeless by not arresting you for murder if you give them a bit of money. Fixed an issue where cyberware could get downgraded to tier 1 after updating game to 2.0.1. The game now updates to 2.0.2, so that's when the tier 1 gets downgraded. They didn't put that there. Fixed skill progression passives. So they've got some PC specific fixes. So selecting default graphic settings now picks the proper quick preset based on your hardware and according to the latest system recommendations. And they introduced a mechanism to detect mismatched or corrupted scripts, which are caused by outdated mods or file corruption. With the console, they did some internal buffer stuff that nobody really cares about except for programmers, so I'm not going to talk about that. And they refactored the saving process, so now you won't be overwriting saves with bad save data, so they make sure the save is sort of properly done before deleting a save. Some miscellaneous fixes, various optimizations, they're always going to have that. They fixed an issue with achievements and trophies. So before it was possible to unlock achievements and trophies that you had not really earned. Now it's not going to be possible to do that, but if you did unlock something, that achievement is just permanently unlocked. They fixed a few issues with just warning messages and everything like that. And there were a few glitches with Johnny and various NPCs that were also fixed. And they remastered the voiceover to improve audio quality in German, simplified Chinese, and Japanese. And honestly, if you're listening to this video, that probably doesn't matter at all to you. But we're almost to the 8-minute mark. I don't want to have mid-rolls. You don't want to have mid-rolls. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe and like if you made it this far. And until next time, peace.